Alright. Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching, thank you for clicking, thank you for subscribing and being here. This video will be a special 9000 Q&A, and I do that and we are already halfway through for 10k, so thank you so much. Just a quick word before. You have seen with the last video I've put a ebook, a upper lower training ebook in pre-launch, so I just wanted to thank everyone who are trusting me enough to pre-order and to actually read and listen to what I have to say regarding training. And I'm halfway done with the book, so I hope you like it. I do believe that I will be done completely 100%, I don't know, I'd say in 7 to 10 days. So yeah, thank you so much for that and for your patience. And now we are going to go on to the actual Q&A. So if you have posted a question, it will be down here. And if you want to ask a question, you can do it in the comment of this type of video, the Q&A. It's just easier for me than to find them again into the commentary summary that I have on like the YouTube Studio back office stuff, you know. Okay, so let's begin. All right, so and Superman asks, hey, so you've mentioned before on the concept of eating foods that specifically your ancestor ate. Yes. Could you go into more detail about this kind of thought and maybe elaborate how this might influence something like intra-workout nutrition options? No, I can't, because I've made myself clear enough. You just ask and watch what your grandparents and above were eating and how they were eating, and that's basically it. And regarding to intra-workout nutrition, it depends of what type of workout we are talking about. It depends the length, and your genetic toward food has nothing to do with it. That's one of the moments where you're just more worried about your hydration and just the fact that you have enough fuel for your training. So don't overthink, bro. On that note, you can just not care, alright? And I'll make a video anyway to talk about that. Next question. Julius Caesar asks, hopefully this is the right place to pause this. Yes, it was. What is your take on upper back rounding during deadlift and variation? More stretch, more gains, right? Thank you for your question. It is a good question, very good. So yes but no, and no but yes. Basically, the thing is that when your upper back is rounding, this is the spine is rounding, meaning that you put your traps and your erectors in a less advantageous mechanical position. It is true, but you also put your disc, your intervertebral disc, at risk. So you are talking specifically about upper back rounding, okay? And I'm just going to ask you, what are you doing deadlift and variation for? To give you a simple example, when you're doing some deadlift or squats at 70% up to 80% of your 1RM, it has been proven, like with studies, that you achieve a better recruitment. It's not about activation, it's about recruitment and actually working the muscle of the glutes, the quads, and the hamstring. Okay, and the moment on the same exercise, squat and deadlift, you go at around 90% and above of your 1 rep max, then the form by itself will start to degrade or deteriorate, and you will have much more erector and hips muscle that will come into play. So on a squat, the glute recruitment will go even higher, the erectors too, and the quads will actually go much less. And same for the deadlift, you will have much less hamstring, much less quads, and much more erectors and glutes. So what am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because upper back rounding is something pretty natural when you're doing deadlift with any significant weight, just because it is a better biomechanical position for your body to push through. It is a safer and stronger position for your body to pull weight. But at some point, you ask yourself, what are you doing deadlift for? If you're doing deadlift to build your hamstring and glutes, rounding your upper back on your deadlift should be a warning sign that are starting to really fatigue, and that you should stop your set right now, or just do 1 or 2 more reps max. Because if you're doing deadlift for hamstring and glutes, you're going to choose variation where the things that you prioritize is the hip hinge. So RDL, stiff-legged deadlift, stuff like that, basic desk fit deadlift too. And if you are starting to round the upper back, you will shift the workload of this muscle toward more erectors. So in a hypertrophy perspective, it's not that good. Now, if you're pushing for strength and performance, it just means that you're going high enough, and that yes, indeed, you will have more gains toward it. But you know, it really depends. You're trading some safety and some good recruitment of a muscle you would want to target for something that can lead to other problems. Basically, you're fixing one issue, but you could potentially create 5 more. So in my opinion, upper back rounding on deadlift, if it's just like 1 or 2 reps at the end of a set, I mean, at some point you're here to train, right? It's not like, oh, I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to decide, and it's going to be amazing, and everything is picture perfect, you know? None of that nonsense, you know? But if you can just trade right now, you know, like just if you round your upper back, you'll have much harder time to squeeze your glutes and hamstring under the load, while if you keep the back straight, you'll have a much easier time to recruit them just because there's more hip hinge, basically, okay? So thank you so much. All right, Louis Lesner asks how to make a bro split more optimal. Is it even possible? No, it's not. By essence, it's not. And the only thing that could make it more optimal would basically to do some kind of mix of a bro split and an upper lower split, or something like natural hypertrophy as talked about, which is the gentleman split, I believe. But you have no business doing bro split, in my opinion. And Louis again asks, how do you program a torso and limb split? Well, you do limbs on one day and torso on another? I don't know. you do realize that having like a strong point limbs and a weak point torso, or the complete reverse at 100% does not exist. Like, for example, me, I had weak point chest, weak point biceps, but strong point shoulder and triceps. So what is it? Is it limb or torso? You know, even lats, you know, I have had strong point lats, strong point forearms, somewhat of a weak point with the mid and low traps. So is it torso? Is it limb? You know, if I have strong point glutes and quads, but weak point hamstring and calves, is it torso? Is it limbs? You know, stop overthinking. Okay, Taishi Toby 2 asks, thank you for your informative video, Viking mec. Oh, okay. So mec in French is like dude, so Viking dude. Thank you, man. Do you like the workout programs at the end of the Delavies book? Okay, so he's talking about the strength training anatomy books that I have talked about many times, like in the gift ideas for meathead video, for example. And you can find them in the link in the description with the Amazon shop list, the books about training. And I have already told you that basically you buy every single one of them, you read them, you learn them by heart, like 100%, and you're already better than most sport professional, most personal trainer, and everyone basically in sport, strength training, and biomechanics, and in supplement and nutrition knowledge, basically. So there are sample workout at the end of these books, and he's asking me what I think about them, and they are quite good. They are quite decent, you know. I never tried them myself, but I've seen no problem with them. These are pretty well made, actually. There is not much overlap. There is a training logic applied, so you can try them. Basically, anything can work. Remember that anything can work until it doesn't, but you are the ones that have to make it work. Okay, so Lilian asks in French, hi Soviak, what do you think about heavy duty and its variation, like Samuel Hartman method? Thank you for your answer. Okay, so for those of you who do not know, Samuel Hartman is basically the future of bodybuilding. He's natural currently, and he has talked about hopping on steroids, you know, to go on higher levels, but he's already a bodybuilding champ. As natural, he's a freak of nature, he has good genetic, but he has also his dad who helped him since he's very young with training, and he's French, so that guy is amazing. And he basically trains with a mix of heavy duty, so HIIT training, and some stuff that his father taught him. And Lilian is asking me what I think about that. So basically, HIIT is something that is very great in theory, and in practice, something wrong happen. And that something wrong is that many people do not actually know how to train hard. They do not know, actually. And even myself, I did not know how to train hard until I had the ability, and even the fact that I didn't really had the choice but to train hard. How and why? How? Because it is a skill. Training hard, training to failure or close to failure is actually a skill. And some people are predisposed to go really hard, really intense, basically using their CNS to send a lot of strong hertz waves to their nerve to contract as fast, as powerfully as possible their motor units. And some people aren't. And there is also your sport practice and your genetics. Some people are more predisposed to be powerful than others. And by powerful, I mean speed by strength equal power, okay, like the physics stuff, okay? And genetic wise, some people are just explosive, some people aren't. And then there is the sport practice, of course, and the muscle fiber types. So there is this thing first, and then there is the fact that in theory everything works, okay? And some stuff needs to be applied in the real world to see if it works or not. And in HIIT, pure HIIT thing, principle, there are many things that works, there are many things that does not work. There are many things where Arthur Jones himself, the inventor of HIIT, even if it's technically not true, he said stuff that are okay and some others that don't. Mike Menser, same thing. Some stuff he said is 100% dead right, and some other it's like, sorry Mike, but no. And actually, a good HIIT guy to learn from is actually Dorian Yates, because Dorian Yates not only took up back the work of these two gents, but he made it better. And his method is basically keep it stupid simple or no nonsense. Okay, so you can basically copy everything Dorian Yates said and did in his like booklet of his training years, like his 5 first training years, and he wrote everything down. You can basically copy this, check what he said about X thing and Y thing and Z thing, and you will have already a very mature mind with mature in his mindset about something that he already thought through like maybe 2,000 times more often than you. Okay? And as for what do I think really about the whole thing, well, basically for Samuel it's working. So who cares what I think about it? It's working. Is it genetics? Maybe. Is it his luck? Maybe. Is it because he knows how to train hard? Most definitely. Is it because of his dad? Maybe. But it's working, and the guy is a champ, so, you know. As far as I am concerned, many people will not respond well to HIIT, first because they do not have a good machine where they can power through, because they do not know how to train hard, and because they need more time to actually make HIIT something effective for them. And I can just take my own example as that, and many people that I've seen in gym for about a decade, so, you know, that's what I think about it. Okay, next question. Deepom 4223 asks, not a question, just thank you for opening my ass towards fat grip and doing weighted pull-up dips. Feels better. Thank you, man, and glad I could help. And yeah, if you have big hand or your chin up and dips bar are very thin, it can actually hurt your hand, and having a fat grip will just make it better for your hand position and to align every joint better. Okay. M. Mosen asks, where did you buy the green sweater you wore on your Dublin trips? It looked awesome. Thank you, bro. Well, I bought them over there. It is a 100% Irish wool sweater, and yeah, it comes from there. So You have to go to Dublin, or it will be some made in China stuff if you look online. Thank you, man. Okay, Shivakon Dapali asks, neck curl with plate make me feel dizzy, which is why I never really started neck training. Can I directly start work on neck flex? Also, any suggestion to not feel dizzy? Okay, so first thing first, yes, you can directly order neck flex if you want, but if you order neck flex, you will have to start with bands just to get accustomed to it. And I made a video about complete total beginner to neck training, so I suggest you do what I say in this video. And then about feeling dizzy, you are either getting too fast, or you are doing something wrong with your eyes. So I would actually suggest to you to close your eyes and to do a more controlled tempo. Okay, even if you see me going fast, even if you see ex-champion going fast, I'm not dizzy when I do my neck. So do not try to copy me. Try to do what works for you. And yeah, you can go with neck flex, but just to be on the safer side, I would advise to actually go without weight at first. And good luck to you. Okay, Big Jeff says, just wanted to congratulate you on 9K. Good job. Thank you, man. Thank you a lot. Papistole. Hey, so what type of deodorant you use and recommend? I do not use any deodorant. First, because right now I'm currently, I am living off this online coaching thing, the affiliation, the YouTube and stuff. So I do not need to go out and work a 9-to-5, okay? And it's all thanks to all of you men for trusting me and being here, so thank you again about that. Furthermore, I never liked deodorant because I've been aware of their heel effects on the health since very young, like in my teenage years. Either I do not care, and just because I clean and actually take care of my hygiene, I do not smell bad, or when I go out, it's just to train. So I do not really am stinky for other people. And that's something that maybe some of you do not know, but if your sweat is stinky, or if your sweat smells bad, and I'm not talking about your sweat on clothes, your sweat on clothes will most often than not smell bad. It's because of the chemical reaction with the tissue, except if it's cotton or something else. But when it's like chemical stuff, clothing, it will always smell bad, always. But if your sweat is smelling bad, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with your health, something's wrong with your gut flora, or the bacteria and microorganisms there is on your skin. And I can give you a very simple example to prove that. Have you ever been sick, or have you known someone who was sick and who had to undergo antibiotics treatment? What chances you have, or have known someone that had to do it? What happens then? This person stops smelling. They have no odor, nothing. If they sweat, it's water. There is no odor anymore. Why? Because antibiotics kills everything, every bacteria, every microorganism, good, average, bad, very good, everything is killed off. So if you're stinking, there is something bad going on with the bacteria and microorganism inside your body, most often the mouth flora and the gut flora, but also on your skin. And you actually taking more care of your health, especially on the nutrition side, having enough micronutrients, showering good with a good soap, natural soap. I always recommend Marseille soap and Alep soap, and if you have a very tender skin, very sensitive skin, Castile soap is also good, black charcoal soap as well. There are other stuff with American and Canadian soaps that I do not know, but basically raw soap, natural soap is good. And also with your water intake and the flora inside your body. So you have to take care of that to stop smelling so bad. But then, how about you're just sweaty and you have to go to work of a 9-to-5 and you just don't want to smell like shit? Okay, a good alternative to deodorant is actually to mix some shea butter or coconut butter with some baking soda. You go about 50-50 of each, you make some kind of pasta, you put it on your armpit, and not only will it increase the local breathing of your cells and of your skin, because there will be an increase in carbon dioxide. But also shea butter and coconut oil either smell good or neutral, and it does not block your skin. So basically, if you put some of this oil on your skin, you're not going to break a sweat because your skin can't sweat anymore, it can't breathe anymore, so you're not going to overheat. Okay, so you can do that, or you will have to look into those 100% organic and raw ingredient brands, but I do not know any worthwhile brand for that. And you know, in my case, I never like smelled so bad that I was like, oh, I need to a deodorant, you know. So I'm really sorry, it's all I can do for you. Okay, next question. Tuna Hommel Hal Don't. I'm sorry, I can't read. I can't read. Hi bro. Hi. I'm fairly new training and I often take 1 or 2 small pauses of 5 to 10 seconds between groups of reps within sets when forms break down or the reps get very grindy. I've been progressing both in strength and muscle development doing this, but recently a friend made me aware of this and told me it's bad. Would you agree with him? Might be worth to note that, at least in my perception, I hit failure or very close to it at the end of the set often. Thanks a lot and keep up the amazing work. Truly one of the best fitness bros out there. Thank you, bro. So basically, so you're doing reps and then you take 1 or 2 small pauses that can last about 5 and up to 10 seconds, and then you go again to finish off. And one of your friends said it's bad. Okay, so first thing first, you've been progressing both in strength and muscle development doing this. So a guy telling you it's bad is like you telling me squat is bad for the legs while I'm doing this squat with plates up to each end of a pin on each side and having bigger legs than you. Slap your friend. The thing is that you're basically doing rest pause. Okay? You're basically doing rest pause, and it might not make you very honest about how you are calculating basically your sets and reps and weight. So I would say that the conventional way is to actually not take a break that is that long. It would be 2 to 5 second top when you're starting to feel grindy and you're like, okay, I need 2 more, and then you go again. Okay, but if you are liking this type of training, you know what, just rack the weight for real, take a 20-second pause and do a real rest pause or cluster set. Okay, and that way nobody can tell you shit, because you will say, hey, I'm doing clusters, hey, I'm doing rest pause. And what would they say when they will see that it is actually working for your strength and muscle? What will they say? Oh, it's not how you're supposed to do it. Yeah, but it works. No, I have no opinion. If you like it, keep going, but do real rest pause if it's the case, or try to diminish this pause and just to bang out as much as possible with as little rest as possible. But other than that, if it's working, it's working. And that's it. NDPD Fitness. Sub count over 9,000! Thank you, man. Savi asked, do you think the following is viable for someone focusing more on upper body and not having too much of a difficulty gaining size on lower body? Oh, I thought you were going to write everything. Thank you. Okay, so Sunday lower, Monday upper, Wednesday full body, upper emphasis, Friday full body. And you want to focus upper body and not too much difficulty gaining size on lower body. Okay, so if your week starts on a Sunday with a lower, that's not okay, because you are fresh from your little weekend, which is a Saturday, a rest day, and you're doing lower. So actually, if you want to focus upper, you have to eat everything you want to focus upon first in a training, but also first in a week when you are the most fresh. So I would swap the Monday and Sunday, so you do upper on the Sunday and you do lower on the Monday. Wednesday full body upper emphasis, yeah, and Friday full body, yeah. That doesn't really change. I would just do that basically. Yeah, that's about it really. That's all I would do. And make sure to focus on performance and like increasing your reps and weight on your upper, and make sure to prehab your ankles, hip and knees on your lower. Okay, good luck, bro. Easy skunking dude asks, hey bro, thank you for all you do. Thank you, man, you're a great inspiration. Thank you. What would you say is the best way to build the lateral head of a tricep without access to cables? I own Olympic barbell and an easy bar. They are both great for the other two parts of the triceps, but I'm having a hard time targeting the lateral part. Thanks. And more ass, more gas. More ass, more gas. Answer, you could do close grip bench, I like it on an incline, and or decline diamond push-up. GM press is also good, but you should use an easy bar. It's awkward with a straight bar. Good advice actually, so thank you, funny pseudonym. Okay, so the lateral head of a triceps is purely and merely a triceps extensor. So what you need to try to achieve is a position where you can solely focus on about extending your elbow, which is not going to hurt your elbow, which is not going to hurt your wrist, your shoulder, and with kind of mitigating the activation and recruitment of your long head of the triceps. So close grip bench press with elbow slightly out is a good idea. You like it on an incline, I mean, the guy told it you like on an incline or a decline, and it's actually a good idea because that way you can not only manage the range of motion, the joint angle, but also how you overall feel. For example, flat bench for me, even if it's close grip, does not feel right on my shoulders. And what I do is when I do it, it's most often on a Smith machine, and I do just a steep incline, just one notch up, so it's like 15 degrees, and that way I'm really comfortable and just doing this kind of movement, you know, in its full triceps and especially the lateral head. The second thing that he said, which is decline diamond push-up, is actually a good idea. I do not know if by decline he means you have your hands elevated or your feet elevated, but during lockdown in 2020, I was doing supersets of dips and diamond push-ups with my feet elevated, and not only did I bring out my lateral head, I also kept a lot of my pressing strength and a lot of my tricep size. So they definitely work, and I even like them more when I wrap a band around my upper back. That way when you are at the bottom there is some stretch, but not that much, but the further up you go and the more you have to flex and go fast at the same time to really finish the movement and flex on the triceps, and this works very well. So he's totally right. And also I would just do close grip bench press with the easy barbell. I would do some kind of pullover and press work, or I would just get the barbell on, and because you're going to do an easy bar, you'll be like this, okay? And if you go like this means that when you go down, you'll be like this, with elbow slightly out, but without additional stress on the wrist. So this means you can do this type of movement, okay, on a decline or an incline, and it will be purely triceps with a bias on the lateral head. Rinse and repeat, get stronger, do not hurt yourself, and that's basically it. If you could buy some band pack, yet again in the Amazon shop list, I propose like a very simple one, like for 20 bucks with multiple resistance. You could do something that a lot of powerlifters from Wayside Barbell Club were doing, which was to have a band hanging like that. They would be basically standing under it, having the band like this, and they would do this for very high rep, very fast tempo for joint prevention, but sometimes you would use a heavier band with more resistance and go more like, you know, normal kind of tempo. You can find pictures of Dan Green and Dave Tate doing it, and you can just look at their triceps. So yeah, that's basically it, man. Good luck. Okay, XXHNH2TW. Hello, Soviak. What are the difference in training you would recommend for a 40-year-old man starting to train for hypertrophy as opposed to a younger 20-year-old male? Thank you for all you contribute to the fitness community. Thank you, man. Okay, first thing first. A 40-year-old male most likely have some historic injuries, while a 20-year-old most likely hasn't. The other thing is that at 40-year-old, you're basically, except if you're really healthy and you are an athlete, etc., etc., you're basically starting to age at every level. So your organs are starting to work slower and be slightly smaller. You have less pro-hormones production inside your own body. You need more recovery, you need more rest. The stadicals between anabolism and catabolism inside your body may already be starting to shift toward the catabolism, so you might already start to gain some fat, lose some muscle, lose some bone, and have some degeneration process inside your body. For example, at 40-year-old, most people have some type of little herniation of a disc in the spine, and maybe even two. Actually, just a little protrusion, like 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, like very tiny. But most people at 40 have that. And furthermore, most people at 40 already have some kind of arthritis going on with the spine. Most often it's the cervical and or the lumbar spine, but it's painless, or at least there is no symptoms. And some other already have some problem with the shoulder, the hips, or the knees. Okay, so we are already not on a very young and fresh groundwork. All right, so what I would do is prioritize recovery, prioritize what is centered and focused upon health and longevity, on rehab and prehab, and also I would manage volume much lower actually than intensity, because at 40 you have most likely more experience on how to push your body. Maybe not, but I do believe that it will not be a problem. However, volume needs to be dialed in, because frequency can be the same as a 20-year-old male, but the volume can't really. Because by increasing the volume or having a high volume, you also increase the whole workload. So it's a really a very stressful thing for your body, and you do not have the same recovery capacities as when you were 20. Okay, so you can still train 3, 4, 5 times a week. You can still train hard and heavy, but the volume needs to be quite low, on the low side. You know, it can be average, it can be medium, and you need to have an exercise selection that prioritizes health and prehabbing the joint, like making them more healthier, balanced, and stronger, rather than just busting your ass with like a strong basics compound, you know, in the gym. So for example, instead of doing conventional deadlift off the floor, I would say you use some trap bar and you do RDL. The trap bar will be easier on your lower back, and doing the RDL with it will still be a good way to train your posterior chain. Instead of doing heavy good morning, I would do some back extension. You do not need to be afraid to add some weight to grab some plates, but it's still a lower stress overall than a good morning. I would do dumbbell pressing instead of barbell pressing. I would do Smith machine and machine presses if you have good machine, instead of like heavy barbell stuff. For chin up, I would only do neutral grip, which is the safer and less stressful on the joints. I would not do supinated and pronated, it depends. For squats, I would do Smith machine squat, I would do Bulgarian split squat, I would do lunges, reverse lunges, leg press, but back squat would be something that I would avoid, or at least not heavy, like 4 reps maybe, but not heavy. Same thing for front squats, inertial squats, etc., etc. And that's basically it, you know, it's just more like health and longevity oriented, basically. Alanu asks, sometimes lately I'm not as excited as I used to about training. I'm progressing fine and managing fatigue, but I'm considering a very small and quick deload just to get some excitement back into my training. Good idea or no? Well, if you had managed properly, you would not need a deload. And in my humble opinion, what you should do is just straight up take a week off. Take a week off. And reassess your training program, because you're most likely training too much and or too hard and or too often. And life is not just about training. You can go for a little vacation, you can go do some hiking, I don't know, just do something else and really rest your head and your body about training. And when you come back, you'll be like this, all shaking and excited, because you have missed training actually. So it will be good for you. Okay? It shouldn't be a chore. You're not a pro level elite athlete. Your job is not to train. You're doing this because you enjoy it, because it gives you a lot of things back. Your health, you're strong, you're capable, you're handsome, etc., etc., right? But you're not paid for it. So it shouldn't be a burden in your life, it should be a plus, a huge bonus, okay? So chill, take some rest, and you'll be fine. Okay, Benjamin Lizama asks, hi, so why it is said that controlled eccentric are better for hypertrophy? Congrats on the 9K. Thank you, bro. I don't know. I've never seen anywhere that controlled eccentric are better for hypertrophy. Quite the contrary, actually. When you look at the strength training anatomy workout books that I talk about a lot of with Delavier and Gundil, study like science-based stuff, basically, you know, like people that like science-based stuff. It is known that the more explosive, the more forceful you are with your concentric, and the more explosive and fast the eccentric is, of course, under control, but not like control for real, the better it is for your gains. It is just that it is also the most stressful for the tendons and ligament. So that's why you have to find an happy medium between how explosive you are with your concentric and how fast the eccentric is going and how your muscle and tendons are reacting. But controlled hypertrophy, control reps for hypertrophy, especially eccentric, I don't know, bro. The only good reason to do control eccentric is that in a very specific manner, for example, when you are owning your skill at an exercise you just can't do yet with a good form concentric. For example, you're learning pull-up, but you can't do one pull-up. What do? You go up at the top and you do a slow negative, you know, to strengthen your body, because you're stronger during the eccentric than the concentric, slightly stronger. When you're doing Nordic hamstring curl, you're learning the movement, you're doing slow eccentric while keeping yourself as high as possible, as long as possible, to strengthen everything in your body in order to do the concentric with good form. This type of context, okay, but if no tendons or no ligament or no injury whatsoever is keeping you from training forcefully, do not control the eccentric, just keep the tension on the muscle, you know, that's it. So I should have just asked you source, you know, with the face and all. Anyway, okay, Slick 4344 ask, question 1, I noticed you mentioned Ray Peat a lot. Which principle or fees do you think are worth applying and which ones are not? I'm really not familiar with all of this idea, but things like minimizing starch seem to be an obstacle for getting as muscular as possible due to struggling to get calories in. Edit. I've been looking at these forums once or twice, and it seems to be filled with very healed people with no desire to work out, and most sometimes even advocate against intense physical activity. That is so true. That is so true. And question 2, I know you drink coffee, but what's your overall opinion on caffeine intake and what to be aware of? For the past year, I've been unsure whether caffeine is actually a beneficial addition for me or actively harming me due to worse sleep and so on. I think I've seen you talk about low quality coffee causing skin condition in a reply to some comments. Okay, so question 1. First thing first, I will do a video about Ray Peat for bodybuilders or strength training and stuff. I have never ever seen Ray Peat said to minimize starch. Ever. I saw one of his principles, and one of the guys that follow his principle called Danny Roddy, who said that you should minimize starch comprised of full grains, you know, like not white rice, brown rice, or pasta, brown pasta. Yeah, but minimizing starch? No. I do not know why you saw that, but yeah. And also, yeah, the people, the thing is that that type of thing that is very good for health, where and how do you search for it? When you are unwell, when you are unhealthy. So what happens? You have a forum with a ton of unhealthy people talking about a lot of healthy things, but with unhealthy minds. So even if it, like I said earlier in the video with the HIT, I said in theory it's great, but when you are in the application process, you'll start to see some nuances and some stuff that are like, actually it's not that good, right? Same thing here. on the theory side of everything that Ray Peat and some of his disciples or people that try to follow his work are saying about intense strenuous activity, they are right. It is a stress on your body. Stress can be aging and can be damaging to your whole body and your metabolism. It can be something that will tire you out, that will create a chain of effects and events inside your body that will basically be bad for you. All right, okay, fair enough. But I've been training for 11 years now. What happens when you train pretty smartly and that you recover enough, and even more so, that you have some surcompensation happening to your body? That's right, you grow muscles. They get bigger, thicker, stronger. Same for your tendons. Same for your ligaments. Same for your bones, they get denser, thicker. Same for your nerves. You desensitize the Golgi organ tendons, and you can push harder, heavier. So what happens when you stress your body? If you do it properly and smartly enough, it grows back stronger. Right? You have heard about the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Look at you, look at me, look at thousands of people that have been training. You see? So don't lose sight of what matters with that, and I'll make a video to explain as best and as much as I can. But no. Be careful what you on this forum, the Ray Peat forum. There is a gold mine of information, and you have the 7 cycle, and at the same time you have the 7 cycles of hell. So don't lose time, bro. And for your second question regarding coffee, you said it yourself. Low quality coffee can cause problem, right? Same thing with everything basically. So you're talking strictly about caffeine. You are saying that you have worse sleep. You have your answer, bro. Either diminish the dosage or take it more smartly. Take it really just in the morning before noon and nothing after. You can also do some blood work. Some people, when they are drinking coffee, have a higher cholesterol in the blood and have higher, what is it called? I think it's LDL type of cholesterol also, and triglyceride. Okay, so that means that potentially for you, caffeine might not be the best thing, or it could also be the coffee or how you prepare it that is harmful for you. And that's it. I personally have low cholesterol, low triglyceride. I have no hypertension or known cardiovascular or heart conditions, and I drink close to a liter of coffee, real coffee, not like the one with no caffeine, every day. I'm fine. It is good coffee, it is manageable coffee, it's not like the best organic and stuff, because sometimes I just want to change. Sometimes I take the ones that comes from South America, and they massage beans and stuff, apparently. And sometimes I just take the regular ones that is prepared in Italia but actually come from Africa, or I don't remember, but it tastes good and I have no problem with that. So, just test. Some people are not made for caffeine. It's a drug after all. It's just that it's legal. Caffeine is a drug. Same thing with tea, black tea, green tea, rooibos tea, red tea. It depends. So if you are seeing some ill effects, stop it. That's it. Okay, next question. B20 Cats says, as the CEO of Upper Back, thank you. What advice can you give to a man lacking in upper back traps? I've been doing power shrugs and rack pull, but it feels lacking specifically with my mid back and my posture not that great with rounding shoulder. How do I make it thick? And he said you're also doing dumbbell and machine rows too. Congrats on the 9K subs, brother. Thank you, man. Okay, so I am not a fan of power shrug. They are good, but I'm personally not a fan of power shrug. I just do straight up heavy shrugs. So you could try that. Rack pull above the knee can help, but it will not help specifically with mid back. What I would do for mid back is behind the back trap shrugs, and also elbow out rows. That's basically everything you need. And you need to do machine rows, because on machine rows you will have the ability to go really heavy on either side, have your chest supported, and just focus on rowing, just rowing, rowing, rowing. You can go slow and control form, like you row, you pause at the top, you go down under control, you even stretch it a bit, and you go like that again. Or you can just go straight up balls out, like Kevin Levon and Ronnie Coleman. They are doing stuff like that, with a ton of body English, whatever you do. But just get strong with rows, elbows out, and keep getting stronger with power shrugs and rack pull, basically. That's all you need to do. And it could also be that just because you have a big, wide shoulder blades and a small rib cage, such as me, it takes a bit longer to fill out the frame. It's like there is more room, more space to actually fill in before it really pops out. Okay, I had the same problem for years, so that's why I know. And also train your neck, especially neck extension. It's like a sneaky trap work that you add in, and it also complements very well with upper back, because it's actually, you're doing basically the finishing touch behind, right here, so it goes up really high when you're from the front like that, and you go here. You see, if I flex my traps, they go really high, they go right here, so it's like barely, literally under my ears. So train your neck also. Ain Mohammadi asks, hey Aso, can you talk a little about lifting straps and when to incorporate them? Should beginner use them, and in which exercise? Congratulations on 9K subs. Thank you, man. Okay, so lifting straps should be incorporated only for working sets, so not for warm-up, for beginner. And if you're following like the training beginner guide that I did, you should use them only for bent over row and deadlift work sets, and that's it, nothing else. And you should use curls and pull-up as an opportunity to grow your grips and arms stronger, basically. And just keep it simple, okay? Just grow stronger and just use the straps on exercise where your grip is really bothering you to keep going on with your progress. And that's basically it.